right, welcome to KMNR. In 1964, in this very building, back when it was a dorm, some students created a pirate radio station, which was basically them broadcasting illegally. Yeah, they kind of garnered a bit of a following, and then eventually they got a license in 1972, and they became KMSM because back then Missouri S&T was called the Missouri School of Mines. Started the club from there, and it's been going strong since.
You are tuned in to KMNR 89.7 FM, broadcasting out of Rolla, Missouri. This is the Slug Pit with Buggy. And
my name is Dylan Rose, also known as Buggy. I've been a DJ here since fall 22, and that was my trainee semester. So that was when I was partnered up with my trainer, MC Cirrus, and they taught me and showed me the ropes. I think the radio station adds a bit of color of just spice to Rolla. Rolla's a pretty small community, and there's not too many exciting things to do within the town. So especially if you're an S&T student, this is a kind of beacon of just oddball out there interests. If you want to be on the hardware side of things and just completely tunnel vision into that spec, you can come in here and just to your heart's desire, play with wires and play with electronics. Or if you just want to play music, you can come in here and play your favorite music.
This is the lobby where a lot of people hang out, as you see. We have TV where we can watch all sorts of stuff, put on some goofy YouTube videos of orangutans. That's my personal favorite. We have an arcade cabinet, a little coffee bean dispenser that is older than probably me. The studio room is in here. The control room, that is, where DJs do their things. We have our engineering room, which is a fully stocked workshop that allows us to be self-sufficient and means that we don't have to worry as much about outside help, and kind of gives good experience to the STEM students here to learn how a lot of these electronics work.
My name is Connor Marler. I am the chief engineer here at KMNR. I am in charge of the engineering side of the station because a lot of people who join a radio station are just here to play good music, have a lot of fun, and meet a lot of fun people. But part of the reason why I'm here and the reason that this position exists is to make sure that people are able to do that, whether it means taking care of both the server side and all of our in-house written software and our website and our automation system. And we can go from range from that to fixing broken record shelves and maintaining more physical engineering issues in the station. Something that I think is neat about KMNR is that it is DIY, it is student run pretty much entirely, it's student made pretty much entirely. The only trouble with that is that means it's broken all of the time, and that is why you kind of need a pretty solid engineering team. That's the benefit of being in an engineering school, is that technical DIY side of it can really flourish because you have a bunch of people who both think they know how to fix it, have the confidence they know how to fix it, and sometimes can actually fix it. Like, I'm looking at wires and server racks right now that were strung up in this dorm building that campus let us use, and it's all retrofitted to have a radio station in it.
So I'm a senior here at S&T, and my position is the Director of Public Relations. So I do everything merch, concerts, stickers, If it's on campus and we're being marketed, that's me. I'm not an engineer, which I think is why this job suits me so well, is because I have the creative side. We do have so many engineers, and they're very smart, they're very intelligent, but they're all numbers. If you see a button on someone's backpack and it says KMNR, you immediately think of the radio station. That's kind of our voice on campus. So it's really important that we have something that is creative, people are interested in, but interested in for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons.
In here we have studio, which is where we allow the bands to do their live on airs. We're able to have bands playing here and then transmit it to the greater Rolla area, the production room, where we would be able to mess with all the levels while people are recording in there. Whether it's live or not, we've had bands come in here and record music for something like an album. Then right in here we have our media library. From my understanding, it's one of the largest in the Midwest. Just thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of CDs, as well as vinyl records. Here's one of my favorite sections personally.
Alongside the digital library and the physical library, there are about 50,000 bands in here, just under 50,000 bands that are recorded. There's probably even more than that in just promotional stuff that we've been sent over the years. And some of this stuff dates back to like the late 60s when we were actually first formed before we were even KMNR. And this is actually the area where it has the oldest records, like the Beatles. They're right up there. And these are like original Beatles records from when they came out. This is one of my favorite records, actually. It's The Who's Live at Leeds. And the cover is totally beaten up, but on the back of it, it has an old KMNR DJ from the 80s writing about how they thought of this album and what they thought of The Who after Keith Moon's passing in 1978. And I think that is so cool. Most of this is the largest genre we have recorded. It's rock and roll. It's a very generic thing. But as you can see, just down this hall, you can see how deep it goes. Like right here, this isn't even half of it. And we're already at 16,650 different artists just this early on in the library. You can see the folk CDs, the hip hop CDs, and the blues CDs. You can see the different colors like green, purple, and brown down there. And you see all the way down there, there's the electronic records. And over there is the hip hop records. My personal favorite part of the library, and that's the old rock and roll records. This stuff is older than most of y'all's parents, actually. There's a bunch of old classic rock groups, Pink Floyd, the Beatles, Rush, all that stuff. But we're still ordering records today. I order records, and there's modern bands like Halas. Also the listening room, where you're able to listen to CDs, records, the station as it's playing on the radio, or even Bluetooth. See right here, it was made by New Craig in 2017. That's how they identify themselves, as New Craig. Over here, you can see a bunch of Doors collections. And the Beatles are somewhere in this top shelf. Surprisingly, the Beatles are not the first one. I actually have no idea what the very first one is. It's gone missing. This is the first one we have. It's number 2.
I think KMNR gives a great opportunity for any local bands or student bands in Rolla. Like if you're just a group of students that just figured out how to play bass, and you have one guy that just learned how to play the drums, we'll give you guys an opportunity, or whoever, an opportunity to play one of our events. Or we even have KMNR Live. We have a spot every week to where we have a band will play live music on air. So that's a great opportunity.
We do a lot of pop-up shows, which are smaller, but really brings the music in. We get a lot of St. Louis bands who come out for our stuff and who actually reach out again and again, trying to come back because they like us so much.
I think here in Rolla, we're really lucky to have this opportunity. You have to make your own scene. No one's saying, oh, I'm going to move to Rolla and make it big in music. And even though that's like an honest thing, it's going to be harder for you. There are plenty of people here that are super excited to get packed into some rental home's basement and like listen to your music. And there's a lot of bands that I've found and I listen to on a regular basis that I've first heard either at a KMNR concert in the park or somebody's house here. And I think that's really, really special.
We are small, medium, at large.
So in June, I moved in with small and medium here. And me and Caden were jamming one night up in his room, and Noah got off work, and we were like, hey, Noah, come upstairs. And he, stumbles up, and I'm like, you want to learn the drums? And 3 weeks later, he was texting me to go travel with him to go pick up a real drum set and not use Caden's electronic one. And then about a week after that, Caden texts the house group chat and says, hey, guys, I got us a show. It's in 4 weeks.
KMNR is just like it's a collection of people who love music, so it's a really great organization if you want to have an audience of people who will come out to see you play live.
I've never been to like a bad show here, or a dead show. It's always so high energy.
They provide that community, because that's honestly probably one of the harder things is like finding people who actually want to like come sweat in the basement for an hour and like blow their eardrums out. And being able to find people who want to do that is really, really big.
Hi, we're Native State, a rock and roll band from St. Louis.
We came down, played on the radio a couple times, and they brought us down for a few shows, and it's been great ever since. We're good buddies now, so we just like hanging out with them.
They've created like a scene, that kind of thrives. So you've got bands from St. Louis coming down to Rolla, and then a lot of times bands from Rolla then coming up to St. Louis. A lot of trades of shows are happening and just like people meeting people. So it's become a really good just like hub of people throughout Missouri, because like people from all over are coming down here to like be on KMNR.
We're Jay Walker out of Madison, Wisconsin.
In my eyes, KMNR is like the host of the music scene in Rolla. When we were going here, it was basically our band and a couple of the other DJs who made music.
I think there's a really small but passionate scene of people here that really want to express themselves. People are really driven to make something happen, because if you don't do it, it just won't. So there's kind of this like DIY ethos baked into like doing anything in Rolla. The Midwest is a really weird place. It has a weird history, and it's not someplace that's like interesting at first glance. I'm like sick of hearing cornfield jokes. You're not seeing the place for what it is. I mean, yeah, it isn't like New York or Los Angeles. It's definitely not like a cultural epicenter, but there's culture here. People are creating art.
I think the Midwest, sort of historically being flyover country, has created this almost larger, isolated space that leads to really interesting results.
I really feel that the local show scene, whatever you want to call it, in the Midwest is so genuine, and I think that's what makes the Midwest scene super special. Everyone there, it feels like they're trying to connect to you as an individual.
I guess you could say I'm feeling hungry.
So I've been told before, I believe it was one of my chemistry professors who said that one reason he loves KMNR is that it is one of our best, or it is one of Rolla's best exportation of culture. We are able to essentially, through the airwaves, reach a pretty large amount of people. There are so many little small towns around here, especially involved with farming. And being able to like essentially grab bands from all over the place, have them play here, and then for them to hear it and discover stuff is pretty unique. Because otherwise, unfortunately, and I grew up on a farm, so I say this with love, but it can get very lonely and almost echo chambery out in rural areas. When you have 90 people with fantastic music tastes in a room, you're going to find at least 1, 2, 3, 10 people that have a similar enough music taste to you that then, with the noise of everything, kind of gets filtered through their brain, and then they're able to recommend stuff, and you're like, holy cow, this is amazing.
Hello, you are currently tuned in to KMNR 89.7 FM, broadcasting out of Rolla, Missouri. Keep it tuned.
Radio's not dead. It's fun.